You ready, guys? Let's go.
The wilds tremble before my fury! The nightmare's veil is lifted. I return at last to the long slumber, to the great forest beyond.
So he's died
Till I
before?
may serve the wilds again.
Oh, he looks so happy. So he's nurturing it, kinda. Yeah.
Welcome to my grove, friend. My queen,
Hey.
I shall protect these souls through their winter. I shall see them reborn in their spring. No matter what trial I face. I swear it, my queen. I swear it.
Actually, don't, not a word, huh?
Rest well. And dream. Season after season of this drought.
Oh no, Ursoc.
Here. Here. It's so little. I know.
Ooh.
It must be done. Reclaim everything from this grove. Everything.
No! This is my grove!
Damn.
You will not destroy them!
Damn.
Arelon, we are not your enemy.
Anyone who threatens my grove is my enemy. I swore an oath. My queen. I
Dang.
kept faith all this time that you would save us. And now you send scavengers to my grove? Why?
Do you not talk?
You saw what is to come.
Ardenweald is dying.
It must be saved. The Queen is called the Wild Hunt.
We have culled your grove, so that others might live.
What about Ursoc? Great, yeah,
Will you
dude, come on.
sacrifice one soul for the forest entire? Or will you keep your oath?
But Ursoc.
Your heart is pure. I will honor your choice.
Don't let Ursoc die. Come on, man.
One last time, you serve the wilds. You will not be forgotten. Forgive me, friend. I will hunt for you, my queen. For Ardenweald, and for the souls we can yet save. I swear it. I swear it.
I'm okay. Oh, this is gonna be a tough one. Fuck. Alright, let me try to get my mind off of it. Let me download this guy real quick. Yeah, I didn't expect that at all. Yeah. Oof. Man. See, this is uncharacteristic of me, but yeah, this yeah, this hit me. See, this is why I don't even watch trailers of like movies that have dogs in them or anything like that. Any sad stuff like that just like kills me. So this this obviously caught me off guard. It's hot in here, man. Jesus. I'm scared to look at the chat. All right, I'm okay. I'm okay. I think I'm okay now. Yeah, it just like I said, took me off guard. It really took me off guard. All right. Let me get caught up with chat real quick. Yeah, it's a sad one. Am I thinking or am I crying? Details, right? Details. Fucking Gen's like, yeah, squats, it'll help. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, this is gonna be a tough one to. I'll numb myself to it eventually, but No, that one got me emotional. Fuck, that was. And I can't take it back. I did it. Let me tweet it. Cried. Boop. All right. Anyway. Let's see. Didn't expect that. Yeah. Just even thinking about the words that are gonna come out, it's gonna make me emotional again. And for like the history and all that stuff, like a couple years ago, I said goodbye to my puppy, and I haven't gotten over it. So seeing something like that is really tough. So video games, how dare they make me emotional and shit. So we kind of get, it does this thing. The takeaway, Ursoc aside, is that we don't have it doesn't give me much more of an idea of exactly like how this whole thing about how the Shadowlands functions and everything. Just that we know the drought's happening, but as for exactly how, I still haven't quite figured it out. Revendreth will give me like the remaining answers that are still missing. And where is my download thing? There it is. Let's see. Let me extract this thing, and then I'll go back to Premiere, and then we'll start like taking a look at it. Again, this is like one of those straightforward. This is kind of straightforward. You gotta really dig. You gotta dig a little deep to kind of understand what's going on here. And what I'm trying to do, what I tried to do in the earlier videos between Maldraxxus and Bastion was to compare their primary characters, which was Draka and Uther, and like contrasting those. In this case, it feels like a totally different approach. Let's see. Just gonna put this out there. When I had my health scare, everything set me off emotionally. It was so much easier. That's made to admit it. I was crying like a baby to a fucking ASP. Yeah. Almost made you cry. Then I thought about how pissed off his brother Ursol will be and what he'll do if he finds out. Yeah. Yeah, like this. Like triggered is the word, I guess. Like this one really hit me. Yeah. Well done, fucking Blizzard. So, let me get this thing back up. Okay. Okay, don't need the audio, just the visuals. All right, so we start off in the last moments of Berserk Ursoc during the Emerald Nightmare. He gets put down, gets smoked. There's Malfurion? Yeah. There's Malfurion. But hey, I'm going back home. God, yes. Fuck this Fuck the cinematic, dude. Yeah, so it's straightforward. It kind of gets into like how it works. A nature spirit. Nature spirits died. It's taken. See, it's weird because I'm having trouble like understanding how this works. So souls are supposed to go to Oribos. The Arbiter sorts them out, takes them to where they need to go. But apparently, when it comes to Ardenweald, it's different. So nature spirits, they go direct somehow. They bypass Oribos. They get taken straight over here, and then right into like the egg thingy, where they are tended to by the people of Ardenweald. They're fed anima to the point where they can be restored, and then they can go back to get themselves killed again and all that. But in this case, this is very much we're definitely seeing here the consequence of the drought, and what the machinations of the jailer have caused. Because it all starts out cool. This is the way it's supposed to be. Everything's supposed to be like just fine. And there's Winter Queen. Everything's cool. There's a bunch of things there, and it's all good. She's smiling. Everything's happy, and off she goes. Zooms, Sonic the Hedgehog, sorts of shit. But then flash forward, you quickly see like stuff has changed. The bulbs are gone. There's only really like that one thing left, and like the Ursoc bulb hasn't really grown at all, and like that's all that's left. And we're seeing like the unfortunate choices that need to be made, and I forgot his name already. He's doing his best to protect it. But now we see the Winter Queen with a much more far more cold, far more unfeeling. And what I find a little interesting is like, okay, this is like a vision of what's to come, or this is like what's actually happening right now. I guess it's more like a vision of what's to come, and somehow she's scared into it. But I don't think it's a deception of hers. Like, oh, I saw this grand vision, and now I need to pass this on to everyone so they can see what I'm talking about. It's more like, she can really see the writing on the wall, and things are about to like just get fucked. But now he has to make a choice. What do? We need to conserve this anima. And she's feeling it too. Like you could see, like it's hard to see here on stream, but you could see like her starting to well up too. And then he makes that unfortunate choice that he needs to take whatever energy is left. And fuck, man. You were a bit disappointed with this one? You have no heart. That's... I don't know what to tell you, man. I get it. Like this one got to me. This is the best one because this sold the consequences of what's happening. So I don't blame you if you feel disappointed by it, Necro. But this one was, yeah, this one had me cry literally. Fuck, man. Yeah. It's world building. It's more world building, setting the stage. And the whole thing with Ursoc, now Ursoc is gone. That's it. He's done. He's not coming back. And that's really sad. Erelon, thank you. The poor bear was screwed over in life and death, lol. Yeah, I'm trying my best to relax and all that. Right now it's hard. Right now I'm really emotional because I look at. No, I'm not gonna go. I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna trigger myself. That's like terrible. No, but this was good. Oh God, this was good. It tugs at. It tugs at everything from Mad Bear to Happy Bear. It's like, hey, I'm here. I'm gonna hang out for a while, and then everything's gonna be cool. Yeah. This is the thumbnail. If I do a video about it, blur the image. There's nothing I'm going to blur. I'm just going to, let's see. Okay, actually, this can't be the thumbnail. Oh, well, this doesn't really communicate much, right? This doesn't really say anything. Oh, yeah, that's Ursoc. Yeah, definitely. No, that's not going to do it. These videos do a good job of explaining the different covenants, making each one a good choice for your character. I'm not even really taking it as that. It's, to me, it's not. I don't really see these as commercials for the covenants. Hey, here's why you should do this one because this one's cool. It's just selling the story. It's just building up that narrative, explaining what they are, and that's it. Everything else is like between the lines and all that stuff. And in the case of all of these, we're seeing a little bit of how the universe works. Now, maybe Bastion didn't really set the stage because the Bastion video didn't really explain much on how Bastion works. It was an Uther story. Maldraxxus did a better job of setting, of talking about Maldraxxus and a little bit of how that works. But there's only so much you can get out of like a 5-minute video. And in this case, it's 6 minutes and 20 seconds. It's a little bit shorter than the Bastion one. This one is all world building, almost all world building. The small difference is that there's a character that we can connect to, which is Ursoc. For those who care about him as more than just a raid boss, we have that connection. We see that and we see that thread be shaken with Ursoc's like death. But we're seeing how death seems to work. The one thing that kind of weirds me out still is that spirits bypass the Arbiter altogether and they go straight to Ardenweald, as if Ardenweald is special. Now, of course, Ardenweald is also experiencing the drought. The drought is because of Revendreth, and somehow Revendreth is able to stifle the flow of anima that comes through. And a lot of it, is, of course, because the whole machine of death is broken. Souls go straight to the Maw instead of where they're supposed to go. It's just kind of weird because I'm trying to discern just how does anima get distributed throughout the Shadowlands, because it almost seems like when it comes to Ardenweald, it's like irrigation. Like there's a certain flow of anima that goes into Ard. It's not like they get a crate of anima and like, hey, here you go, let's pass it out and let's water the trees with anima or something like that. It seems to like be like this back end system. Anima seems to be like a back end system that supports the Shadowlands, and that flow has been disturbed by, of course, the like all the souls being diverted. You don't need to compare, they're all really cool. The explanation I heard was that it's the wild gods and demigods that do. The actual denizens are still sorted normally. I just don't quite get the logic behind it. That's all. They can say something to explain it, and I'm like, okay, that's it. Cool. Remember that in the weird note thing, the informant said that there was a weakness between the plane and Ardenweald that may explain the souls going straight there. Remember how Onyxia came back? She danced, tangoed with Shadowlands and Azeroth. Let's see. No, they are really cool. This one was just like, fuck, man. But yeah, I think this is really doing a pretty good job of explaining how it works. I just want more information. I just want more information because I really want to get into kind of breaking down, okay, guys, here's how the Shadowlands works. Because I have this agenda of mine. There's this agenda of mine where I want to talk about how there doesn't seem to be much of a point in the Shadowlands. And this isn't me coming from like a pundit's perspective, as in, oh, this is just bad writing, this is a contrived story. This is me coming from the angle of someone who lives on Azeroth, and they see, if they were to see like this whole cycle of life and death, and how even in death you're being used as like this slave, or you're being used as fuel, and it's like, wow, this is the afterlife. This sucks, because it feels like the Shadowlands isn't exactly like heaven or hell or whatever. It's just a place. It's just another place somewhere, some plane of existence on the Great Dark Beyond that you can just go to. You can teleport to or whatever. There's nothing inherently special about it. It's not too different from like going into the Twisting Nether, which is still special on its own. I get that. But it seems to be no different from those other planes. You just go there. And in this case, the janitors of the Shadowlands, which are the Kyrian, they go out, or the peons, I should say, they go out and gather souls. They just go farm stuff and they drop it off, and then they drop off souls into like the big old pipeline that is Oribos. And from there, this pipeline will take souls to where they need to go. In the case of Revendreth, I think that's kind of like the main harvesting facility where they get the most anima, and from there it kind of gets redistributed all throughout the other parts of the Shadowlands, which sort of explains how Sire Denathrius is able to hoard so much anima, because he's the one that's siphoning all of this stuff off. And then from there, souls go to Bastion because they need more peons. You know, some peons come and go. Some of them get killed. They get converted to anima, and then they become fuel themselves. And so there's like this whole attrition thing. So they need like kind of a flow as well. And what the Arbiter does, the way I see it, the Arbiter doesn't exactly like look at all your sins and all the things that you've done, and hey, if you're good, you go to Bastion. If you're bad, you go to Revengers. I don't think it's that at all. I think it's more like the Arbiter judges how potent is your soul? How much anima can we get out of you? And if we can get a lot of anima out of you, you go to Revendreth, and you're going to get farmed for all eternity, right? But if you don't, then you get sent to either Bastion or Maldraxxus. The people who are emotionally damaged, they go to Bastion. The people who are emotionally fine go to Maldraxxus. That's the way that I understand the Shadowlands, based on all the information that we're given here. Ardenweald is a weird spot, though. Ardenweald, you know, are where like spirits go. So what's that? What's the purpose of that? What are, according to the Shadowlands, what's the purpose of having these like spirits and all that and all that other stuff? And I would posit, this is very speculative. Hell, this is just headcanon. I think that Ardenweald exists, the whole thing, the whole flow of nature spirits and all that stuff, to kind of keep up the facade. To kind of keep up the idea that there's an afterlife and a heaven and all that stuff, to give deities to the great dark beyond, to give that illusion that, okay, you're going to the afterlife now, blah blah blah. And I don't know, I'm not quite sure what the purpose is there. I really don't have a complete thought on that yet. You've been saying the same thing, and it's this one. I think that's fascinating. I think that's really cool, to be honest. That the Shadowlands isn't like special. It's just another place. It's a place where souls are churned and all that stuff. And if anything, it's a pretty shitty place. And so the narrative that I'm going to drive is that, you know what, maybe Sylvanas has a point. I don't think she's right in what she's doing, but I think she has a point. The world is a prison. After you die, that ain't the end, dude. There ain't nothing to enjoy. You can't even enjoy oblivion, because you're taken to another place of existence, and you might get mind wiped and turned into a slave of the Shadowlands. You might just be farmed like a pig over in Revendreth, or you might just be one of those lowly grunts that are thrown into Maldraxxus and given like this narrative of, oh yeah, you got to defend this place now, and you buy into the idea. So. And Sylvanas might see that, and she'd be like, no, this system is wrong. I got to break this thing, because, I mean, where I'm going, I don't know where I'm going, she might be thinking, but it's probably not going to be a great place. But I'm also wondering, okay, what's the Maw for then? I don't know. Maybe it's like, yeah, what is the Maw for? Because if there are souls that are, like, unusable, why not just destroy them and stuff? And I'm not sure. Is Ardenweald dying because of Teldrassil? No, there's a spoiler alert. That's why we're here. Spoiler alert: Ardenweald is dying because of an anima drought. The anima drought is the cause of the jailer and Denathrius over in Revendreth. Over in Revendreth, they're hoarding boatloads of anima that are being held for the jailer, I believe, so that he can use it for bad stuff. So Sylvanas is a revolutionary? No, I want to say that I think Sylvanas is an anarchist, I would say. She just, she just wants it to be broken, but I don't know what her plan is. And it might be, it wouldn't be so unreasonable to say that to have nothing, if you die, you just die. maybe to her she thinks that's like okay. I don't know. But I'll go with anarchist instead of like villain or you know, and all that. I mean, there are quotes from books where it says that she wants power and all that stuff too. So it might not be that far off. Like, oh, she wants to run things. Okay, if I run it my way, I'm going to run it right. I don't know. I legit hate where they took Sylvanas with the recent story arcs. It is what it is. Too late for that now. It's just a matter of like where they go with it now. But I think I can get behind the whole anarchist arc for Sylvanas, where she's clearly not a good guy, but her intentions aren't necessarily, it's kind of like Sargeras. I want everything to burn. You know, Sargeras wanted the whole fucking universe to burn, which is obviously bad, but there was a reason behind it. Same thing with Sylvanas. She wants to undo this whole system of death, which sounds absolutely chaotic and monstrous, but to a person that's just living on Azeroth, that's just farming, you know, who just lives on a farm and does their shit, what does that really mean for them? Nothing's gonna happen. You know, it's just you die and that's it. Nothing changes for them. You simply fade into oblivion, or you fade into anima, and then your energy is dissipated and spread throughout the Great Dark Beyond to whatever. I don't know how that shit works. But is it that bad? I don't know. People will obviously agree with that, but still. You were going to sleep. Yeah, you were going to sleep. Let's see. Then believe me when say make your own opinion and don't talk for me. He those that. What? I want to hear what you say, and others want to hear my voice. Cool. Okay, you guys are weird. Hey, Nelia. Okay, I think I'm emotionally okay. Okay, let me take that back. I really need to emotionally disconnect myself because I see this dude, and I see me, and I really need to not do that. I really need to not do that. Otherwise, I'm going to both love and hate this cinematic. But I mostly love it because it's pretty darn good. Want to hear opinions, and she talked about what you said, but I wanted to hear but I want to hear what she thinks. Gotcha. No, she pretty much said what I was saying too. Anarchy and all that. When Sylvanas took the helm of domination, she said so much power and then ripped it apart. Maybe she does oppose power and structures, like you say. What did she say exactly? I don't remember. I don't quite remember. I mean, there's obviously some sort of long-term plan, and I remember when Steve Denuser was talking with somebody, it might have been Talius, it might have been someone else, where he talked about, hey, you know what, we're gonna stop beating around the bush early on in the experience. Hopefully in the 9.0 patch, where, you know, Sylvanas is just gonna kind of sit down and tell us, all right, here's the whole plan. Here's like everything. Sticky Korean barbecue. Sounds good. But man, yeah, I think it's, yeah, this is straightforward, but just the way that it connects. Fuck, man. Fuck. As a Guardian Druid main, it feels bad. I get it. I'm a fucking prop paladin. And this goes well beyond connecting with your class or connecting with the covenant that you like. This is a test. I'm gonna have to talk about this, so I might as well get into it and deal with whatever tears that I fight back. This right here, what we're seeing with Arlon, whatever his name is, we're dealing with the consequences of the consequences of the crime. and the almost impossible choice of letting go of something that you've been caring for who knows how long, ever since Legion, but it felt like it was like longer than this, for the sake of the realm. And what that means is saying goodbye to a being like Ursoc that has existed for over 10,000 years, I guess we'll say. Who's existed for this long, who's gone through this sort of cycle, and that cycle is being disrupted by everything that's going on. And this person who's, like I said, being a caretaker, has to make that unfortunate and impossible decision. Even though, like, someone like the Winter Queen is pressuring them, she can feel that she feels the weight of that impossible choice. She's like, I really wish that it didn't have to be like this. It kills me. It kills me that you got to make that sort of choice. But we have to. We have to move on. We have to move forward. Otherwise, there's no future for anything. And it sucks. It really sucks. So it's not so to me, the way this cinematic speaks to me, it's not, oh man, there's a cool story beats, or cool, we got these awesome characters, or oh, the fight scenes. It's not that. So just like the other cinematics, how they have really different approaches. I like how, just like how the zones are different, the covenants are different. They elicit a very unique sort of message. Bastion felt traditional, right? It was throwbacks to old references, to old characters that we're revisiting. And it's like, oh man, so let's talk about, what's going to happen next, and yada, yada, yada. Maldraxxus was more like, Maldraxxus felt more like, one was world building, but it demonstrated a character like Draka, who is a part of this process of life and death, who unlike Uther doesn't carry the same kind of burdens that he does, which makes her fit to be a soldier of the Shadowlands. And we get into that, and I really got into like the comparing and contrasting of how different characters are sorted out in the whole machine of the Shadowlands. Here we get to see the consequences of what's going on with the jailer and Denathrius, and what the drought did, and what the drought is doing to the other realms. You don't see that. You're not quite seeing what the problem in the Shadowlands is in Bastion and Maldraxxus. You're seeing like stuff kind of from the past, and kind of the current problem, but not like the main problem. Like in Maldraxxus, you're seeing like this whole civil war thing, but we don't quite know what that means. Here, when it's not being immediately explained that, oh, there's Sergeant Athreus is doing this. That's like supposed to be a surprise that we find out later on. But here we're just seeing the consequences first, and we find out what the cause is later. And in Revendreth, we're going to find out the cause, and hopefully get a little bit more into just how this whole thing works. So I really dig this series. I think that this is a good series so far. Three or four episodes in, I think that this is really delivered on the kind of messaging and the themes that Blizzard is trying to communicate. But it takes a little bit more analysis to really appreciate it. The other ones, they feel really straightforward. Like Warbringers, that felt pretty straightforward. They were very central to the characters. Something like this, I can see why it doesn't quite connect to other people, because there are no characters to really connect with except for Ursoc. But it does something different, and in that sense, I think it's really well done. But there's going to be mixed opinions on it, obviously. Let's see. It's the whole one doesn't outweigh the many. Yeah, it's basically that. It's not going to be Ursoc though. It's going to be likely Every corrupted nature spirit that we killed post-leveling experience in Legion and beyond. No, you're right. Because there are different nature spirits that... I mean, Ursoc, we put him down when he was like corrupted and bad and all that stuff. And in other cases, it would be like Scenarios or something, who gets jacked up and then he comes back and like, hey, I'm back, woohoo, go me. And like Razan, like where is he at? He got killed after, so maybe Razan's spirit got taken to like a place in Ardenweald that was like doing better. And another spoiler alert, like the egg or whatever that Ysera is in, that gets moved, and so it makes me like, motherfuckers, why don't you move? It's only one thing, dude. There's only one. Why not just, I guess it's to a point where like it's so planted that it can't be moved, but it could have been moved. I think it would have been cool, man. So yeah. Fuck. Would a Loa go to the Shadowlands? They go, right? They travel back and forth. But as for what happens when they're killed, I don't know. The way I see it, Loa aren't too much different from the physical, from the other wild gods and guardian spirits and that sort of thing. Is there a difference? Because I don't think so. Yeah, they just function differently. I mean, Loa, they rely on their worshippers and all that stuff, and they rely on shrines and all that to stay powerful. I don't quite know how that works. I don't think I need to get scienced on every little thing on how exactly everything works. It's not, that's not something I'm gonna hold anyone's feet to the fire on. But this is clear enough to understand. Oh, fuck, man. This is such a tragic piece. I think if a younger version of me would have seen this, and I would have thought like, it's just a fucking furry. Fuck this guy. Whatever. He's taking care of a raid boss. Blah blah blah. I don't think it's a measurement of maturity that makes me respond to this video differently. It's circumstance that makes me respond to this video differently. I have memories that make that enhance the message of what's being said here. And man, what is actually the name of the Grove Keeper here? Someone typed it out. Arlon, something like that. I wonder if I should even do a cinematic breakdown, or should I just rip everything that I said here and just do it? No, but then that wouldn't be a proper breakdown. That's not what I really do. Doesn't feel right. Wasn't expecting to get the feels out of this one. Neither was I, to be honest. But the way that they did it is so brilliantly and insidiously done that